healthcare workers across the state of California will be required to get a booster shot. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan in for Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Governor Gavin Newsom says positive COVID cases across the state have doubled in a week. And as News 8's Steve Price reports, San Diego hospitals are starting to fill up.
Carlo and Jesse, you can see all of these ambulances behind me now. Imagine if you were inside one of those ambulances heading to a hospital, but that hospital couldn't take you. And then the next closest hospital couldn't take you, all because they are too full. Well, health officials tell me that they are seeing that more and more right now. And with Omicron spreading fast, hospital leaders fear it will only get worse. Hospital leaders in San Diego feared another COVID surge was coming, and now it's here.
Just 2 days ago, all of the hospitals in North County were on emergency diversion.
And when ambulances can't go to the closest hospital, they spend more time transporting patients, delaying them to other life-threatening 911 calls.
This is a serious situation. Anytime we see this kind of an increase in hospital volumes.
Scripps says the majority of COVID cases they're seeing right now are the Delta variant, adding it's still too soon to know the hospitalization rate for Omicron. But what they do know is that the holidays are coming and their staff needs a break.
Our people are burned out. They're tired. This is the kind of time of the year where they'd like to take some time off too, and unfortunately, that's probably not going to be the case.
To try and keep the state's 2.5 million healthcare workers on the job, Governor Newsom just announced a booster mandate. All healthcare workers are required to receive a booster by February 1st.
I think it is a smart move. I think it's the wise move in this context that we need to make sure we don't have staffing shortages. We need to keep all of you healthy and safe. And again, the best way to do that is to get boosted.
Local health officials say they're doing their part and hope you'll do yours, including boosters, wearing masks indoors, and staying home when you're not feeling well.
Take care of each other and take care of yourselves. Follow the guidelines, and we can have a happy holiday.
And with heavy rain expected Christmas Eve, possibly into Christmas Day, there's a fear that a lot of outdoor gatherings will now be moved indoors. Health officials warning everyone to please wear a mask inside, especially if you're around people who are not fully vaccinated. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Steve. The Cal State University system announced today that it will require a COVID booster for the spring term. This applies to students, staff, and faculty. Boosters must be received by February 28th or 6 months after a person was fully vaccinated. Cal State officials will consider medical or religious exemptions on a case-by-case basis.
There's confusion now over the time limits for those in quarantine versus isolation, whether it should be 2 weeks or just 10 days.
News 8's Heather Hope talked to a doctor to help clear things up for us.
And there is a different timeline for those on quarantine and those in isolation. I have a cousin in both, one in quarantine and one in isolation, and a doctor breaks down those time limits.
I worry, like, am I going to start having those symptoms they talk about?
At home, my cousin Elaine Cooper in Los Angeles has been in quarantine while her son Mark in college is also home but in isolation with COVID and the flu.
Right now I'm in a different room with the door closed, but again, I know particles can travel, so it's a question of, is it inevitable or are there good things you can do?
Doctors say those who are infected need to isolate in a separate room at home, while those exposed should quarantine and stay home and avoid contact with others. But for how long? And what if you're the sick person's caregiver?
People are generally most infectious kind of at that starting period, right when they develop symptoms.
UCSD Assistant Clinical Professor Dr. Shira Abeles says those with COVID isolate for 10 days, but those in quarantine may be in it for at least 14 days.
But in general, right now, it is 10 days from start of symptoms to the end of symptoms, because we know you have a lot of virus that you're shedding and you're quite contagious and extremely contagious with Omicron in that beginning.
Dr. Abeles says someone could be spreading the virus for 5 to 7 days. They can come out of isolation on day 11 if they no longer have symptoms. A quarantine person with no symptoms could also be done sooner if they are vaccinated and get tested.
There are some people who do test during that time and may be able to have their quarantine shortened to 10 days if they can test negative and continue to have no symptoms.
For those who are immunocompromised, time in isolation gets extended.
For people who are very immune compromised, that window may be made longer because their body can't necessarily build that immune system to control the virus as quickly.
Elaine says her son should be out of isolation on Christmas Day.
Just looking forward to him being healthy and that we can kind of return to our normal routine.
Heather Hope, News 8.
The U.S. Supreme Court will hold a special session January 7th to hear challenges to President Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for big employers and healthcare workers. Meantime, the FDA is giving the green light to Pfizer's antiviral pill, granting it emergency use authorization earlier today.
The studies show the pill is almost 90% effective against severe illness and death when people take it within 5 days of showing symptoms. And federal health officials now say the Omicron variant may be less severe than other variants.
But as Deborah Alfarone reports, CDC data shows the variant already accounts for as many as 90% of new COVID cases around the country.
Pfizer's COVID-19 antiviral pill is the first oral treatment to be granted emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration.
Production takes about 6 to 8 months. So supply of this product will ramp up over the next several months.
The Biden administration says it will purchase 10 million doses of the pill. It'll be available with a prescription for high-risk COVID patients 12 and older.
We will have 265,000 treatment courses of Pfizer available in January.
Federal health officials warn it is not a substitute for the vaccine.
Please get vaccinated, get boosted, wear a mask in public indoor settings, and take a COVID-19 test before gathering with others.
As we get closer to Christmas, demand for testing is surging. Lines like this one here at this Washington, D.C. testing site are long, and lines like this can be seen all over the country.
We are expanding our testing capacity.
Washington, D.C. is one of the latest cities to require vaccines for people 12 and older at indoor venues. The demand for vaccinations and booster shots has also caused long wait times heading into the holiday weekend.
I'm getting my COVID shot, second one.
Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Meantime, the White House says President Biden's latest COVID-19 test came back negative days after he spent 30 minutes on Air Force One with an aide who later tested positive. Vice President Kamala Harris's office announced she also testing negative for COVID-19 after being in close contact with a staff member who tested positive today.
We've been telling you it's coming for more than a week now. Another winter storm is on the way tonight.
Meteorologist Sean Stiles in for Carlene Chavis tonight, joining us now for a first look at your forecast. Sean?
Good evening, Jesse and Carlo. Yeah, you can already see the cloud covers. This is a live view from San Miguel Mountain looking towards the west, the lights of the city, the clouds rolling in over the top. This is kind of ahead of the storm. This isn't the storm making its way into Southern California. It is still sitting offshore to the north of us, and it is tapping into an atmospheric river. This is what we'll start to see by late tonight. Now, no showers making their way into Southern California, but it's been snowing all day long in the central Sierra Nevada and northward along the coastline, heavy rain. So by Friday morning, we'll start to see this whole system come onshore. The area of low pressure will be driven by the jet stream. The atmospheric river will be coming through the area. A secondary low digs down for Christmas Day. This brings much colder air into the area, and with that, we'll probably see snow in our local mountains. Here's a look at the rainfall totals from this first wave that comes in, and we're talking about at least 2.5 inches on the westerly facing slopes of our local mountains, possibly 3 inches, and well over an inch across much of the county. This rain will come down overnight Thursday into Friday morning, a break in the action, and then that second storm coming. We'll take a little closer look at all the details on this and try to pinpoint where the heaviest snow and rain will be falling coming up in just a bit. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. As he said, we've been telling you rain's coming. Hopefully, you've been getting ready for it, but if you still need them, sandbags are available for people who live in the city of San Diego to protect homes and businesses from flooding. Chula Vista is also offering free sandbags. For more information, we've put a link on the help button at CBS8.com.
In Los Angeles County, people who live near the Bobcat Fire burn scar are worried about possible mudslides with the weather. Last week's storm already brought flowing mud and debris to the area. LA County Public Works officials say they're not expecting any major issues, but crews are ready to respond.